Oh my goodness, you guys. I got another question to answer for you this week on this episode. What are my top content workflows that I think every business owner should have? Well, lovely listener, we're going to dive into the top 5 workflows that are like the bread and butter for content management. Or maybe the sourdough and butter, because I really like myself some sourdough. Trust me, these are game changers. And the best part, I've got these quick daily steps that you can take in under 10 minutes to make these workflows work for you.
Hey, online business owner, welcome to the Content Systems for Growth with me, Michelle Dewey. Are you ready to let go of guilt, stress, and missed deadlines? Are you struggling to keep up with the demands of running a household, taking care of your family, and creating consistent organic content? Well, you're not alone. Juggling all the to-dos of being a mom and owning an online business can be challenging. But here's the good news. By implementing effective content systems and organization strategies, you can streamline your workflow, increase your productivity, and finally take control of your schedule. Each week, I'll explore content management systems and mindset hacks to help you rediscover your creativity, passion, and enjoyment in content creating. If you're ready to save time with systemized content marketing strategies and productivity tips, then go refill your coffee mug, pop in those earbuds, and let's tackle that pile of laundry. It's time to reclaim your time and energy while you take your business to the next level. Let's grow, friends.
So what's the first one? Of course, it's your long form content, your podcast and your blog post. I'm curious, friend, have you tried the new Reese's Animal Crackers? Just kidding. My question is, what do you call it? Do you call it long form content, pillar content, core content, your main content? I'm always curious because everybody has different terminology for what they call their long form content. So what is it to you? I'm curious. Let me know. So why is it important? Your long form content is your chance to really connect with your ideal client. It's like having that heart to heart over coffee, but through your blog post or your podcast. So what's a quick daily action that you can do for yourself to start crafting your own content workflow for your long form content? Well, I want you to go ahead and spend 10 minutes just jotting down the different key points that you do when you go to publish your podcast or your blog post. So what are each step that you do in the process, and that will give you your workflow. If you're not sure, not a big deal. This is a great thing that you can just jot down in your calendar as you go. Whatever you pay attention to improves, and you know exactly what you do. The number 2 workflow that I think you should create for your content system is content calendars. Why is a content calendar important? I know I've talked about it a lot, but that's okay. A content calendar is your content personal assistant, you could say, because it keeps you organized and ensures you're always putting your best foot forward. It's keeping you consistent. It's helping you eliminate all those decisions that you need to make along the way. It's eliminating the stress that you have when you aren't ready to post anything and you do not have content ready. That is why a content calendar is so important. So how do you create a content calendar workflow? Well, what are the things, again, that you would put in or the steps that you would take for your content calendar? And creating a content calendar, one of the main things that you might do right off the bat is to look at your idea bank. What are the ideas that you have in your content calendar? Maybe that's your first step to your content calendar. Maybe your first step to your content calendar is just laying out and color coding when you want to post what, on what platform, when, and where. So what's a 5-minute quick action that you can take with your content calendar? It's just figuring out the different steps that you take when you create your content calendar. You want to make sure that you have small, repeatable steps that you can take every single time so that you're not having to remember all of those things. Just document them. It can be something quick and easy in your Asana or your project management system that you use for yourself. Short form content. Of course, you need a workflow for this. Like, how do you create all those different captions? How do you determine if you're going to do a carousel? Do you have a way that you actually like your Instagram feed to look, or are you spontaneous with it and it doesn't bother you because you like spontaneity in your Instagram feed? Like, what is it that you want for your short-term content? So let's say, do you have a caption bank where you keep all those different captions? So what I mean by that is captions that you've used before in your social media. You can reuse those. It's okay. I'm not saying reuse them every single week, every single month, but you can use those either on a 60-day rotation or a 6-month rotation. So 180-day rotation. So what it is you just take that one caption and you plug it into, let's say, Asana, because I'm just going to tell you that, I already use it for my project management, but any project management tool that you use, or you can even use a Google Doc. You can use your Google Calendar. It doesn't have to be fancy, whatever, but you'll just take those captions and you'll just reoccur them so that they come up every 90 days. They come up every 60 days in your content bank. So oh, hey, I need to post content this week. What do I want to talk about? Then you just go into your content bank and see what is actually coming up for you to post about that week as a reoccurring thing. That way you're not having to worry about what caption you want to put. And really, you can take those captions and make them into carousels, because then you can use those images and do it that way as well. So what is your workflow that you would do for that? You would have your caption bank, and then you would either create a reel or a carousel from that caption bank. But you've already have that as a reoccurring task, either in your project management or in your Google Calendar. I'll tell you what, I did it in my Google Calendar for a long time. I actually still have posts that I haven't taken away because I always think it's such a fun reminder of when I first started my business. Like, that's how I would reoccur things, is I would go into Google. I had a specific social media. My content calendar was in Google itself, and I would just put those captions in there in the text body in my Google Calendar, and it would just reoccur for me every 90 days. And then I would just look through when I'd sit down on Sunday to plan out my content or to plan out my week. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to use this post and this post and this post and this post. Or I should say this caption, this caption, this caption, this caption. Then I just need to actually change out the image that went along with it. So spend 10 minutes looking at your social media feed. If you need any inspiration for your caption bank, what's done really well, put it in your caption bank. Because once it's gotten past a certain time, people aren't going back to look at it. So save the posts that resonate with you and then inspire your own content. That's a great thing to do. Maybe your daily action, if you don't have one already, is going to be just to start your caption bank. Number 4, email marketing. Oh, email is such a lovely way to connect with your ideal clients. You can make it personal. You can direct them. You can have additional information or give them different tips that you don't give to everybody else on your blog post. They're super special. Anyone that has said, hey, yeah, I want to hear more from you, they're special. Make sure you treat them in that way and you give them that little extra something every week in your email marketing. And you can have a process for this. What is your actual template? So you can have a Google Docs template for your email marketing. What's your subject? You have your subject and your prefix that you know what's in there, like your general opening that you like to have in there. Any other content that you would like to have can go into that template, so that when you go and create that next piece of email marketing for your business, you already have a starting point and you don't have to recreate something. This is a great thing to have different ideas. Like, again, your idea bank for your blog. You should have an idea bank for your email marketing, like those juicy tidbits that you only want to share with your subscribers. That's part of the workflow that you can put in there. So you have that one piece. Oh, I need to go create content for my email marketing. What should I say? Oh, I'll go to my idea bank and I'll see what resonates with me this week. Or it can be something that's in line with the content that you created that same week as well. Just take 10 minutes to outline the different steps that you need for your email marketing. Do you use images in your email marketing? Well, that's going to be a step that you need to take. You're going to have to find images. You're going to have to find the topic that you want to talk about. You're going to have to actually rate the email. You're going to actually have to schedule or create the email and schedule the email. Like these are all different pieces with it. You also will have to resend that to the unopens a couple days later. Do you see how these are just different pieces that you need to go through in that workflow? So you don't forget anything. When you send out an email, these are all the things you have to do every single time so that you don't forget it. And the number 5 is repurposing. Have a content workflow for repurposing. How often do you repurpose? When I talked about, I think it was last week, when I talked about the master posting content, you might have to go back and listen to them. But with your repurposing, you have your long form or your core content, and you can repurpose that by putting in more additional information into it to make it a little bit more meatier than it was before. So that's what you can do with repurposing. So you can have a repurposing workflow. So it could be that you find an older blog post that you need to rewrite and republish. And then you just take the same steps that you would do with a blog post. It's kind of the same because you'll take all the same steps from the long form content that you had before. You're just going to be rewriting that content, finding new images, and possibly you're recording a podcast or a YouTube video to go along with that blog post. Or if it's your long form content that you're repurposing was a podcast and you want to put a blog post to it, you can do that as well. It's completely up to you, but those would be the 5 things that I encourage you to come up with a content workflow for. So again, a daily action for your repurposing, just go through and figure out all the different steps that you would take when you would want to rewrite and republish a piece of content to be more beneficial for your ideal clients. Okay. I think this has been long enough, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Those are the 5 workflows that you should add to your to-do list so that you can make sure that you are creating consistent content. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Yay! Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found this episode valuable and learned some actionable tips that you can implement in your business so that you can feel accomplished and less stressed. If you enjoyed this show, please take a quick minute to share this with your business bestie, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps me reach more business owners just like you. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please reach out to me on my website. I've created a form just for you. Remember, with the right system and mindset, you can achieve the success your heart desires. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you next time. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And don't forget, let's grow, friends.